This story is just so absolutely insane. So, far right-wing Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has come to the defense of Kamala Harris over an attack by another far right-wing lunatic in Laura Loomer. So, in case you're not familiar with Laura Loomer, I'm going to show some examples of just how insane this person is, and also how close they are to Donald Trump. Again, if you're not familiar, you are going to be stunned at the connections here. So I'm also going to get to, after the defense from Taylor Greene, I'm going to get to Laura Loomer's response to the defense, which is predictably unhinged. But let me start with what set all of this off. So this is an incredibly disgusting post for obvious reasons. But Laura Loomer tweeting this out on September 8th. The date here is important, as I'll get to Taylor Greene's defense later. But writing here, if Kamala Harris wins, the White House will smell like curry and White House speeches will be facilitated via a call center. And the American people will only be able to convey their feedback through a customer satisfaction survey at the end of the call that nobody will understand. All right. Obvious racism here. I don't need to explain this. Going on, this is who Laura Loomer is. She just flew with Trump to the recent debate. This is where things get interesting. So just to give you more context around who she is, she's a far-right social media influencer, obviously. Once described herself as a proud Islamophobe and pro-white nationalism, is also a former Republican congressional candidate. So she ran in a primary, won a primary in 2020, but lost the actual race, and then ran again in 2022, but lost the primary that time. She's also known for promoting conspiracy theories as well as anti-immigrant and anti-Muslim views, though she had previously been banned by some social media platforms. She was banned basically off everything, including two wild examples that I'll get to in a bit here that I didn't even know you could be banned from. But then she was reinstated, of course, under Elon Musk, who is also a lunatic. So this obviously directly connected to Donald Trump and his performance at the debate. So Laura Loomer tweeting this out the day before the debate. Disturbing reports came out this weekend about Haitian immigrants eating people's pets in Ohio, where Democrats like Sherrod Brown and the Biden-Harris regime hilarious choice of words here, imported over 20,000 cannibalistic Haitians who are now killing people's pets and hunting domestic animals on the streets of Ohio. Obvious racist insanity. Again, completely insane. But Donald Trump heard this and thought, you know what? That's a good point. I'm going to bring this up during the debate, completely tanking his performance. So here is that moment, just to remind you.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Now, I should be clear, people largely on the right, but I've also seen some of this in mainstream media, are claiming, Donald Trump needs to distance himself from these crazy lunatics, which you could argue, yes, of course, anyone that's going to be in Trump's circle is going to be a crazy lunatic. But on top of that, though, it's not his advisors that are the real problem. It's him. The fact that he believed this and thought this was a good point to bring up during the debate that would make him sound sane is wild. He is the problem here, regardless of who is around him. But this, this was last week, all right? Laura Loomer eating dog food on her show.
This is not.
I'm not sure how else to intro this.
Not just, some trash dog food from China, okay? These are supplements and these are products that are so healthy and natural that you could actually eat it yourself. So you can see here, Positive Bison. It clearly says dog food topper. And I'm going to put this in my mouth right now. So it tastes like meat. And maybe that is disgusting to you. But I'll show you right here.
She goes for a second helping.
Product right here. It clearly says dog food topper. You can see on camera. Actually tastes good. This isn't.
I don't do sponsorships. But even if I did, I would not be utilizing the dog food sponsorship on air myself. What is going on here? Completely nuts. Ray Vonna tweeted this out. Laura Loomer looks like if you handed her a beer, she would eat the glass bottle. Looking like a DEI jigsaw. All right. She was banned from Uber and Lyft after her anti-Muslim tweet storm. I didn't know you could be banned from Uber and Lyft. This is how insane this person is. Just when you thought it couldn't get crazier than Marjorie Taylor Greene, Laura Loomer jumps in and shows you how, yes, it can get more nuts. So, as I mentioned earlier, she did win her primary in 2020, went on to lose the election. And also, yesterday, she was with Trump at the ceremony for 9/11. And this is somebody who promoted a 9/11 conspiracy theory just last year. Now, we get to Marjorie Taylor Greene, finally, her defense of Kamala Harris here. Tweeting out in response to Laura Loomer saying, "This is appalling and extremely racist. It does not represent who we are as Republicans or MAGA." Let me just pause there. Really? Really? Okay, if you say so. This does not represent President Trump. Again, really? This type of behavior should not be tolerated ever. Laura Loomer should take this down. Now, I find a few things interesting here. This is yesterday. Marjorie Greene didn't come to the defense of Kamala Harris till yesterday. The post is from September 8th. This tells me that it wasn't until after the debate when Donald Trump repeated the insane talking point about cats and dogs being eaten that Marjorie Greene thought it was necessary to come out and attack Laura Loomer. This is not like, I want to make sure people understand here. Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't coming to Kamala Harris' defense because she is really concerned about racism. I hope that's obvious based on who Marjorie Taylor Greene is, the insane attack she's launched against people like Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. This is not about her concerns about racism. This is around her concerns about Donald Trump and the fact that Donald Trump is repeating insane talking points being fed to him by Laura Loomer. Now, I'll get to Laura Loomer's reaction to this, which I'm not even sure if I got all of the response because there's post after post after post after post from Laura Loomer. It's just wild stuff. But if Marjorie Taylor Greene and others on the right actually want to separate Laura Loomer from Trump, which, again, I don't think would really help him, regardless. He's insane. But if they wanted to remove Laura Loomer from Trump's inner circle, they have to speak the right's language. Something like, Laura Loomer is a DNC plant put there by Kamala Harris and the Harris-Biden regime to influence Donald Trump to say insane things to make him lose the election. You have to get conspiratorial about it if you actually want the right to latch onto it. Coming out and attacking Laura Loomer over racism is not going to work on the right. Clearly. So, that's all on that. Because again, Taylor Greene here is not doing this out of her kind-heartedness. But Laura Loomer's response is, her responses are wild. I can't even, there are paragraphs here, right? Like, I'm not, look at all these responses. So I'm just going to touch on some of the points made here. Remember when you destroyed your family so you could have sex with a Zangief cosplayer? I just got to pause and say I'm really glad that Zangief, which is a Street Fighter character, is so mainstream that it doesn't even need to be explained in a tweet. But that's the only good thing to come out of this tweet. Going on to say here, tell me again how you and the Arby's in your pants are representatives of the GOP. You couldn't even run your own family. Don't tell me how to run my free speech. So that is the Zangief cosplayer. You can read that headline if you want. I'm good. Let me go on. More. So Taylor Greene, who's extremely jealous and vindictive over the fact that she wasn't successful in turning Trump against me, is now behaving like a leftist, accusing me of being racist. Kamala Harris is on video calling herself Indian and saying she cooks with curry. Okay, let me just... I highlighted some points here. Some of the important points, I suppose. Hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, speaking of racism, one of your former staffers told me you have a favorite word that starts with N. What if the staffer has a video? It's rather ironic that Taylor Greene wants to call me a racist when MTG is a full-blown anti-Semite who believes that Jewish people use space lasers to control the world. This This fight is just so wild to watch because both of these people are completely out of their minds. You know, usually when there's a fight on the right, it's somebody who's trying to be more, for lack of a better term here, moderate, you know, like a more moderate Republican, if those don't really exist now, but when they existed, someone who's trying to be, you know, pull the party more back to where it used to be, which wasn't as overtly outlandish, even though, again, when we look at policy, there's no real differences there. But trying to turn the party back to that versus someone who's like, you know, Laura Loomer or Marjorie Taylor Greene. But this is two loons who are on the far right of the party fighting. So I can't help but be entertained here. Along with being an anti-Semite, MTG is also a poor excuse for a Christian. Again, bringing up her marriage failed because she couldn't keep her legs closed while she was a new member of Congress and was too busy screwing some guy from her CrossFit. It goes on. I can't read all of this. It's too much. You can read this if you want. You can pause the video and read these tweets. It's really fun. Again, same sort of attacks, anti-Semite, space lasers. I hope anyone is successful in removing MTG from office, Republican or Democrat. DM me for free Oppo on MTG. I'll give it to any of her opponents for free. Jake Tapper and MTG both attacked me for this tweet today. I've noticed a pattern of MTG colluding with the left-wing media to smear me with lies. Yes, MTG, big favorite of the left-wing media. Since when is having a sense of humor a crime? Okay, again. More. Very true. She has lied about everything. Jan 6 prisoners. Okay, I don't want to get deep in the weeds here with this insanity, but there's another one. Here, we got a clip here. MTG is two-faced. She used to call me begging me to write her one-liner she could read in Congress about Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, and now she's acting like a lefty, calling me a racist over a funny joke. This woman has no convictions. Like a lady of the night, she sells herself to the highest bidder. The highest bidder in her case was Speaker McCarthy. So here's a video of her, I guess, when she supported Laura Loomer.
But I'm going to tell you about one right now, and her name is Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer, who is my friend, and I will proudly defend her, is a Jewish American woman. She ran for Congress this last cycle down in Florida. In President Trump's district, where Mar-a-Lago is, President Trump voted for her for Congress. She did not win her race, but she has been censored and banned for 2 years now. But I'm going to tell you about one.
I bet she wishes she was still banned. Last one here. Why is MTG working with Democrats to attack Trump allies 50 days out from the election? It's time for people to come to terms with the fact that this woman is not who she pretends to be. It's wild to see anybody try and claim that Marjorie Taylor Greene is trying to help Democrats. You know, maybe it's not a conspiracy that Laura Loomer is, I'm not saying she's a DNC plant, but maybe wants Trump to lose. Because why would you have this person in your circle who clearly is not a positive influence on Trump's ability to perform in this election? She goes on here saying MTG is the most miserable lying B word in Congress, and we need to inform more mega patriots of how treacherous this woman is. And now she's teamed up with MSNBC, took a month-long vacation after Trump was shot. What are we even doing now? Why doesn't she ever speak about Fani Willis and voter fraud in Georgia? Again, showing you the insane shit that Laura Loomer here believes. Okay. Wants to sabotage Trump because she wasn't picked as VP. Hoping Donald Trump loses. A very jealous woman working with MSNBC again. Oh my God. One of Trump's close advisors. I can't believe I'm saying this, but if Trump had to pick between Laura Loomer and MTG, maybe she should have picked Marjorie Taylor Greene, because Laura Loomer, if you can believe it, is even more out of her mind than Marjorie Taylor Greene is. But I want to be clear here again. Let's not humanize Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is somebody who is only concerned about Trump's ability to win and is concerned, probably correctly, that Laura Loomer is not helping Trump.